Hi, I'm Mayor Latoya Cantrell, and I'm just so excited to announce advanced technologies that we're bringing to the Orleans Parish Communications District. That's our 911 and 311 system. This is about getting the right people at the right time, no matter where you are in our city. And with improved technologies, the city of New Orleans is moving in the right direction, but more importantly, we're leading in the United States of America with this technology that we're implementing. So a great big shout out to the men and women, the heroes under the headset, who make this possible. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon. Oh, yeah, turn it on. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for joining us today. My name is Tyrell Morris. I'm the Executive Director here at the Orleans Parish Communication District, which is home of New Orleans 911 and 311. Today's a big day for OPCD, for the City of New Orleans, and for our technology partners that work hand in hand with us each and every day to deliver those 911 calls to our heroes under the headset here at OPCD that will start the public safety response process. But today we are officially celebrating our cutover to the AT&T ESInet, which stands for Emergency Services Internet Network, and the deployment of Apex, a call handling solution that is created by a company called Carbyne, which we've talked about before, and is powered by AWS, Amazon Web Services, for those who don't know what AWS stands for. This process has been many years in the making, and today we are the first parish in the state of Louisiana to make the shift to an ESInet and a new IP-based call handling solution. But what does that mean for those of us here in New Orleans? During Hurricane Ida, the southern part of the state experienced a 911 outage that lasted over 12 hours. And in a metropolitan city like New Orleans, a 911 outage of any magnitude, of any amount of time, can be life-threatening. But during the time that our people needed us the most, they were unable to summons emergency services. The transition to the AT&T ESInet has virtually eliminated the probability of a 911 failure as long as the cellular network remains intact. And we don't run everybody's cell phone network, but for the most part, if your cell phone can reach 911, the call will be delivered to us. We're issuing a press release this afternoon to talk about how that technology will work. But during Ida, all of the 911 equipment was housed in the New Orleans metro area. Now we have data centers across the entire United States of America that any one of those, wherever they are, can be responsible for deploying or delivering a 911 call to us. Today I'm happy to be joined by our partners at Carbyne, Alex Disengolf, the Chief Technology Officer, and I'm really excited to have our partners here from the FirstNet Authority, Mayor Billy Hughes of Gulfport, as we also demonstrate our redundant and increased capability to provide cellular network services to the first responder community responsible for responding to those calls for service. OPCD has procured our very own device that we will deploy at the agency's discretion in the event we have a cellular outage like we did during Hurricane Ida, so our public safety teams can continue their life safety work. But again, on behalf of OPCD, the system actually went live on Tuesday. We had a morning go live just to make sure everything went well. Being the first in the state, we had to really ensure that what we thought on our mind and on paper was going to work actually worked, and it did. I was delighted to hear, as I welcomed the night shift in last night, to hear about their experiences. The staff were just absolutely in love with the system. We are immediately seeing increased location accuracy. We're seeing incredible call delivery time. The speed calls are delivered. The quality of the calls is increased. Also the transfer. Shift change, it would take us sometimes 5 minutes to get a call taker logged in, ready to take the next 911 call. This morning, within 20 seconds, the call takers were logged in taking live 911 calls. We now have the ability to take calls from anywhere else in the world if we need to. The COVID pandemic demonstrated to us that we need to think outside the four walls of OPCD, and at any point in time, we may need to take calls from home, from a backup center, in a vehicle, or in our offices. Today, we have that capability. And I'm just so proud. I want to take a moment to publicly acknowledge a true trailblazer on my team. Mr. Carl Fason is the Director of Technology here at OPCD, and Carl and his technology team under his leadership made this day possible. Make no mistake about it. I often talk about our heroic work of our teams under the headset, but they are only operating on the technology that the OPCD technology team has worked to deploy, develop, and maintain. And Carl, on behalf of the city and the agency, thank you very much for your work. Next, I'll ask Mr. Dizengal from Carbyne to give some remarks.
Hi everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank OPCD leadership, Executive Director Tyrell Morris, Director of Technology Fason, for their leadership, their innovation, and really pushing the forefront of 911 innovation throughout the country, being the first one to deploy such a system in a scale, and providing all of these capabilities for the call takers, and most important for their citizens. For the first time, call takers will have eyes on the scene, accurate location, ability to receive any kind of multimedia from the scene in an active event, which will expedite 911 handling. Carbyne provides all of these capabilities out of the box. There's no need of more over-the-top solution. There's one unified platform, and a call taker has a unified view of everything that's happening during a 911 call and can react and respond much faster. We've seen in the last years that the 911 systems need to be much more robust. This is a hurricane zone, and you cannot be tied into on-premise legacy infrastructure. With the capabilities of the cloud, as Tyrell Morris mentioned, you can take calls from anywhere. Doesn't matter what happens to the local infrastructure. You can actually even leave the PSAPs and take calls from anywhere within the states or outside of the states. Doesn't matter what happens. It provides a lot of robustness for handling 911 calls. Another thing we need to talk about is the scale of this deployment. We've seen thousands and thousands of 911 calls. New Orleans is home to more than 130 festivals and events with millions of visitors coming into the city. This platform, with its scale, can scale to whatever demand it requires automatically. So there's not going to be things like outages, like dropped calls. Everything is going to be handled. Another important thing to talk about during this period is, of course, the security and the privacy. Okay, we've seen many cases throughout the country with ransomware attacks. This is something that we hope to make long and forgotten with this cloud deployment, which is zero trust architecture. We put security, privacy as a top priority, and this is something that's very important to us. And with this cloud deployment, we believe that this 911 service is going to be more scalable, more robust, and more secure. For Carbyne, every person counts and every 911 call counts. And with these new capabilities, I'm sure we're going to make these services much more better for the citizens and for the community. Thank you so much for your support and your leadership. And this is really a milestone in all of this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Alex. Alex talked about the cloud-based technology and the threat of cybersecurity. I think over the last 4 years, governments have had to rethink our position on cloud-based technology. We used to be very closed-minded and very said, you know what, it's our network, our stuff, we want to protect it, we want it to be all ours. But I think the instances of ransomware attack that have brought governments to their knees has helped us realize that we are no longer the experts in cybersecurity. So leveraging our partners with Amazon Web Services, or AWS, that have over 30,000 employees committed to cybersecurity, there is not a single government entity in the United States of America today that has the resources available to protect the infrastructure than one of our cloud-based partners at AWS. So AWS, thank you all for your assistance to get us to this point today. We look forward to you protecting the data. It also transfers the liability, right? So if the data gets messed up, it's up to you to fix. So it ultimately protects the government from increased liability, but also they have demonstrated time and time again that cybersecurity is really their expertise, and so we have embraced that cloud-based technology hands-on. I also want to take a moment to recognize some other members of my team that made today happen. My Chief of Staff is Dominique Curry. My Director of 911 Operations was Wendy Irving. And my Manager of Training and Compliance that got the team ready for this go live, Ms. Teresa Thompson. The OPCD team here is tight. We're strong. We believe in one band, one sound. And on Tuesday morning when we lit up the board, all the lights went flaring. And so that was a great testament to our success, and we're excited for today. I also want to take an opportunity to ask Mayor Hughes of Gulfport, representing the FirstNet Authority, as our board member, to give some words.
Thank you, Tyler. I tell you what, I can't help but get excited listening to you. You hit every mark. I really don't need these remarks anymore. But you know, nothing speaks like experience, and a lot of what we're doing here is from what we've learned. You know, we have kind of take a look at things, debrief, lessons learned from storms like Ida in particular, which I think is one of the main reasons we're here. But I love the collaboration. It takes all of us, with Amazon, with Carbyne, with AT&T, with the authority, with you guys. I mean, y'all are making it happen. But you know, people come to us, we get pitched all the time. We have, oh, this is the best thing since sliced bread. But when you flip that switch and it's there, and you see a difference instantly, it gives you some confidence for the future too, as far as you know where we're going, where we're going to be, and how we do it together as one unified group. And for me, it's about this region. I'm just honored to be with you here today. I want to start by thanking y'all, particularly what is it, the Orleans Parish Communication District?
Yep.
That's a mouthful. But all the responders here today, each of y'all play a crucial role, just like this team you introduced. It doesn't happen without a lot of folks, and quite frankly, the unsung heroes. People if we're doing our job, we're taken for granted for the most part, and that's okay. That comes with the territory when we're delivering on it. It's when things don't go the way they're supposed to is when people notice. So I'm real proud of what you're doing and proud to be a part of this. But I want to really thank the local leaders, Commissioner Stevens, representatives from Mayor Cantrell's office, everybody who's real strong advocates for New Orleans first responders. A little bit about me. Billy, how did you get to be on the FirstNet board? Well, some of it comes with just growing up in Hurricane Alley. You may not know this, but I was born in New Iberia. Okay. But I grew up in Gulfport. I spent 20 years in the legislature, lived through multiple hurricanes, particularly Katrina was the K word for us, had to come back, and we benefited from the generosity of folks. You know, we said we saw the worst of Mother Nature, but the best of humanity. And I think FirstNet is kind of endemic of that as well, as far as how we come together and reach out to one another. I've responded in my 10th year as mayor now of Gulfport, and so that dynamic is totally different, how we respond, how we get out there. And the pay it forward that we saw in Katrina with folks responding and helping us, we feel like we need to do the same thing. So last year we went down to LaPlace to learn firsthand just what went right, what we can do better. We took another team down to Lafourche. And if you've seen the devastation on one, you know what it's like. Mexico Beach a few years back, the hurricane came through there. The devastation is real. And so when I was asked about FirstNet, I said, well, I want to know a little bit more about FirstNet and its mission, what we're about. FirstNet was an outgrowth from Congress after 9/11. We've all been in situations, particularly if you're in law enforcement, we tend to get parochial sometimes in silos. We want to have our own communication systems, our own networks, our own internal reliability, but we forget sometime in the field, we got to talk to each other. The federal government got that, and they funded significant money to put FirstNet together with the mission of providing seamless response communications networks where you can talk before, during, and after a storm and tell folks, and that's the difference in lives being saved or lives being lost. So it's huge, but I know firsthand what it is when seconds count, and having a reliable communications network is imperative. FirstNet was created in 2012. We've been online a while. We talk about the CRD here. That is a big deal, having this located here, and for y'all to be able to acquire that and have that at the ready is huge. We don't have to truck it in from somewhere, because we know it's a matter of time before we have another issue and another emergency we have to respond to. So having it here, FirstNet, when we first did it, I think we authorized about 50 of these. The response was so great. The technology has gotten where they were as big as this building as far as on wheels, We now have these that can fit in the back of pickup trucks and get them to where they're needed to get the signal back in place after calamity, whether it's natural or man-made. So it's crucial. I'm just glad that you guys are already experiencing firsthand the benefits of this network. I'm proud to be able to play a role, and I'm proud to be local on this board and represent our interests and speak for the needs and see firsthand how we're functioning, how we're performing, and hope you'll continue to communicate to me, because FirstNet, it was made for first responders, but it's also made by first responders. We have a board that is made up of entirely of folks from medical response, fire, police, military, who advise us what is working, what units we have, how things are going, and how we can do it better. So thank you for your dedication, for your service, and God bless, and let's stay safe during this season. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to give a couple highlights to the public so they understand what their experience will be when they call 911 today. So if you call 911, of course, you'll get answered by a call taker, but if the call taker believes they need additional information from you, we need more detailed location. You want to send us pictures. You want to send us live video. You want to do a silent chat. The call taker will send you a text message that says, hey, authorize me access to your phone. Once you click the link, everything you see, we see. Everything you hear, we hear. It really helps us paint the picture for our first responders to have the most appropriate response. We've been live now for 48 hours, and last night I was inundated of examples of how people who needed emergency services were able to make it very clear to the call taker what type of emergency services. They weren't necessarily able to speak because of where they were. They can silent chat us. We had some videos going last night, and we were able to get really good suspect descriptions and get it to law enforcement. I mean, we have already begun to see the major benefits of this technology. But ultimately, our role here at OPCD is to create the appropriate response. And I would be remiss if I did not recognize or acknowledge our partners in public safety that are with us today. I'm joined by Chief Bill Simerone, Chief of EMS, Captain Yannick Lewis from New Orleans EMS, Chief Wanda Newsom from the New Orleans Fire Department. Our representatives from New Orleans Police Department couldn't join us today. They're attending an officer's funeral. And our thoughts and prayers are with them today. But also we have our Director of Public Safety and Homeland Security, Chief Director John Thomas, with us as well. So with that, I believe Carbyne has some presentations to make. Yeah. Brief, and then we'll get you out of the heat. And I believe the presentation will be made by Ms. Andrea King, who's the Customer Success Manager for OPCD.
Thank you, Director Morris, and we're just really excited to be here, continue growing our relationship, the relationship between Carbyne and OPCD. It's been a really great week. We've truly made history here, and we're excited to just acknowledge the hard work that OPCD did in making this project come to light. So this first award that Carbyne wants to issue is the Innovation Award. We're presenting this to the Orleans Parish Communications District in recognition of the agency's commitment to leading technology in public safety. Congratulations. And then there is a second award that's going to be presented. It's going to be presented by our project manager, Lara.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Morris. So I'm here and very excited to be able to present this award today. I'm very excited to be able to present this award today to my partner on the OPCD side, who I have to acknowledge that Director Morris talked about very correctly. He is innovative, he's got wonderful technical leadership, and he truly pushes us to be our best. So I'd like to recognize Carl Fason in recognition of your leadership, dedication to improving the way your agency uses technology.
All right, thank you all for today. I appreciate you bearing with us through the heat. We just want to be inside, try to be as distant as possible. But we do have some light refreshments for you all before you go finish your Friday. Thank you all very much.